Okay, I'm recording now, and I've got this Sculpey Ultra Light, it's called. I'm experimenting with it. My first experiment was to color it with my Inktense pen and blocks, and I created a sheet of it, and I found out that it does kind of crackle. Let's see. Yeah, you can see the crackle. Add some interesting texture, really. I love it, actually. But I'm trying to see if instead of using it just as an armature, which I will certainly do to cover regular polymer clay, can it be used by itself? And Dayburnt did some kind of inspirational things that I thought. She used it to make a stone-like bowl. But I'm going to see if it can be a kind of stony-like bead into itself without using any other polymer clay. And I'm going to get some green and add some green to this, which is fun. Of course, I keep getting it outside the camera because I'm looking at the bead, and I have so many other colors. But greens and blues, say if I didn't want any whites to be in here, although a little bit, I get that white background. One thing I do kind of like about it is the white is very bright. So, you know, if you really wanted to make something out of it and use it. Okay, so now I have the bead pretty colored the way I want. And what I might just do is let it sit a little bit or roll it a little bit more in my hand. And yeah, makes a very pretty bead. So let me put my colors away and reopen the hole with this little toothpick. It certainly makes a hole very easily. And it will make a good size hole just by wiggling around the toothpick. It's very easy from that vantage point. So now I have a bead, and I'm going to bake that and see. Let's see, what I plan to do with these is maybe make some very light Pandora beads. Let me see if I can find the fittings. Okay, I've inserted the little hardware. I don't think they'll stick because I didn't use any bacon bond or anything. I'm just trying to make sure the hole is just have to wiggle this toothpick around to make that hole really work. This way it could put rather thick chains. It could be used thick chains. So there I have a bead. Now I'm going to pause this, put this bead in the oven, try a couple of other little experiments, and see where we're. So now let's see what happens. It doesn't really want to stick to itself. You can see when you roll it into a ball, you have to kind of knead it to get the stickiness out of it. And I'm going to go try the pepper technique. I got to go get the pepper because I do like that stony look that Dayburnt and Kalyana. I like that stony look, but I'm kneading the color that was in the stuff. Maybe I'll see if it will take. See how sticky it is. It's really not sticky. It's just different. It's so different texture. I think I'm going to like it though. It's different. It's just something totally different. But I'm trying to just knead this so that it's not going to certainly be perfectly white. It's going to pick up the color the watercolor, and it's a little bit blue. I guess it's from the shadow. It's hard to tell color from this camera, but it's let's see, it has a greeny blue coloring. It's not quite as white as you can see. So what I'm going to do now is maybe color it some more. Keeps the color in there like a little veiny kind of thing. Yep, so let me get some red. I had a little blue on my brush, which it turned out that red. I have all kinds of really interesting colors. And I do like the Inktense because, as I said before, when it dries, it doesn't bleed like normal watercolors will do. So now I'll see if I can get some orange. It's a ready orange. Needs more orange. And oh, I don't know, mix up. I need another. Oh, that's a good one. Let's see, which one was that? Yeah, my colors have gotten a bit contaminated. And let's see, what I'm going to do is let this dry and see if I can put texture on it. One thing about this coloring system is you can just move the color around and just have a rare old time with it. I love, 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 love these Inktense blocks. I use them for everything because they don't bleed after they're dry. And they can be easily heat set. Works great with polymer clay and paper and a whole bunch of other things. So, all right, so I'm going to let that dry. And see that still you can see the wetness on there. So let that dry. Then I'm going to try, this is a stencil that I made out of using my Silhouette Studio Cameo cutter. I made this very, very thin stencil out of document protectors. And the reason I like those is that they're very thin, and I can get them to stick onto this clay surface. Hopefully they won't lift the color. Hopefully I've left it dry enough. Now, what I really would like to do is see if it will take acrylic paint on top of that. I need to go and find acrylic paint that's thick enough. Well, I'm back. I've had another thought. I'm going to try Gilders Paste on some of it. This is Celtic bronze, and it's really not soft enough to let me use it. What I do have that is soft enough, because I know I've used it, is this African bronze. So let me try that, because it's very soft, but it's very greeny. And so this will be another test for me. And actually, let's see if I could get it through this stencil, which I can. with my finger if this is a creamy enough. Yeah, look at that. That's gonna work. Kind of like that. Yep. So let's see what happens. So I'm actually testing a couple of things. See, look. Now I see that the stencil is picking up some of the, not all, but just enough. It makes it kind of cool. Some of the, see the white bits on this stencil? I don't know if you can see them. That's the clay. It's pulled up a little clay. But not bad, right? So let me let that dry. Okay, what I've done is turn the thing over, and now I'm using this African bronze Gilders Paste, which is making a beautiful patina, right? It sort of ends up separating on here, which is good. It didn't separate on the regular clay, so I get a green and gold kind of look, which I kind of like a lot. So now the other side, let's see if I haven't ruined it, is, yeah, there it is. And it didn't seem to ruin it at all. So there. I've treated the back, which I really love. Love that color on there. It's very... And then this. So let's see what else I can do.